Your favorite pizza place may be in danger of closing down for good. This has been a ruthless year for American pizza chains, even for giants like Domino's. Financial problems are piling up. Consumers are eating out less in 2024 because their buying power has been hit by the rising costs of everyday goods and services. Consequently, the largest pizza chain in the United States is seeing sales drop like a rock. There are just so many things going wrong for Domino's right now that the chain is being forced to rethink its brick-and-mortar footprint and its business model, not to crash like other companies did earlier this year. That's right, more storefronts are about to go dark. And if you want to discover the true extent of the crisis that is hammering Americans' favorite restaurants, stay with us until the end of the video. You might have to say goodbye to your local Domino's. Throughout 2024, Domino's has reported its worst financial performance in years. The company's being hit from all sides amid an industry-wide crisis that's threatening to destroy some of the most popular restaurant chains in the country. Both on the U.S. market and on the international market, Domino's stores have been significantly underperforming the company's and analysts' expectations. The downturn Domino's is facing is mainly caused by a slower net growth, declining sales and profits, and rising tensions with franchisees. In the first quarter, the pizza giant observed that the number of franchise store closings were rapidly outpacing the number of store openings in several regions, which has severely hurt its bottom line. This unexpected decline raises concerns about the transparency and reliability of their planning process, the spokesperson said. As a result, the company decided to suspend its guidance on future unit growth. In other words, Domino's is cutting ties with operators that are failing to meet the chain's high expectations. Other issues, including inflationary pressures in commodity costs and a shortage of labor, have also been impacting its growth and financial health. Industry analysts expect all industry players to witness higher costs for quite some time due to the lack of qualified workers across the supply chain. During the second quarter, Domino's reported that general and administrative expenses as a percentage of revenues expanded 100 basis points to 10.5% year-over-year, driven by higher essential expenses as well as the company's worldwide rally that takes place every 2 years. Since January, Domino's has been disappointing investors, leading share prices to plummet. In the past 3 months alone, the company's stock has underperformed the S&P 500 and its industry, while other players in the restaurant sector have seen an average growth of 7.1% in stock prices, and the S&P 500 rose 6.2% during this period. Domino's shares have dropped by 18% to $418.41, well below its 52-week high of $542.75. In the past 3 months, Domino's stock has declined by 18% against the industry's 7.1% rise. In sharp contrast, rivals like McDonald's Corporation saw shares climbing 16.1%. Yum! Brands, the parent company of KFC, Pizza Hut, and Taco Bell, only slipped by 0.1%, and other chains like Starbucks reported an impressive increase of 28.3%. Unfortunately, this is not the first year Domino's has had a profit downgrade either. It's become a habit. That's why the board of Domino's waited until after the market closed last week to announce store closures in its largest markets. More than a year since it announced mass store shutdowns across America, Russia, Denmark, Japan, and France, the pizza chain is now trying to restructure its U.S. business model by downsizing its corporate store network. According to its website, 100 stores will stop serving their communities before the end of the year. Many more are at risk of being shut down in 2025. The company also disclosed that net profit was expected to be $87 million for the 6 months ending in December, far below the $105 million investors were expecting. The shareholder response to the trading update was brutal. The news sparked a 30% plunge in share prices globally, erasing more than $1.5 billion in value. International Managing Director Don Meij convened a call with analysts and investors and tried to explain the troubles, saying, "It's quite humbling to sit in front of you and to be able to share the disappointing results in part of our business today," he said on the video conference. "It really shows a roller coaster." Meij pointed to poor sales figures and a series of operational problems. "It's very clear we haven't had success in this area. That's the one area of our business that we've rarely shown any bright lights," he said. Sales have also been hurt by several contamination issues at Domino's stores. Last month, health officials warned Domino's customers who consumed food or drink at the chain stores between October the 11th and October the 19th that they may have been exposed to Salmonella typhi, also known as typhoid fever. "The danger is not limited to pizza," health authorities said. "Any food or beverage may have been contaminated." Typhoid fever is a rare infection spread through contaminated food or water. Symptoms can develop between 3 to 60 days after exposure to the bacteria. It can cause fevers, headaches, fatigue, upper body rashes, constipation, diarrhea, and vomiting. Some patients develop more serious complications, they explained. A few months prior, the company was also forced to send a warning to its customers after food allergy cases were reported. Domino's revealed it made a mistake with its garlic and herb and money and mustard dips, which contained traces of peanuts not mentioned as part of the nutritional information, according to The Sun. With profits going down and more stores disappearing, Domino's has entered the long list of struggling pizza chains. Analysts argue that an industry-wide downturn is triggering the downfall of many brands. Pizza chains in particular are being left behind. According to The Economist and financial writer Jason Murphy, the elements that made pizza chains stand out in the past are now contributing to their demise. That's because historically, most restaurants did not do delivery, but pizza restaurants did, especially the big chains. It was their business model. You rang them and they delivered, Murphy explained. They knew they'd have enough orders to justify buying a car with a light-up pizza box on the roof and hiring a dedicated delivery team. And you knew if you ordered pizza, you wouldn't have to leave home to get it. A few other local restaurants probably delivered, but the backbone of the delivery food system was pizza restaurants. That fueled the Friday night parties, kids' video nights, the late-night study sessions, etc. The multimillionaire CEO of Domino's Pizza actually started off his career as a delivery driver in 1987. For decades, the brand's scale and fleet of drivers allowed it to sidestep the category and its often messy implications. But the rise of third-party delivery apps like Uber Eats, Postmates, and DoorDash forced the chain to adapt and start using those services. However, what Uber Eats disrupted with their surge workforce of delivery staff was pizza, Murphy pointed out. Or at least the presumption that if you got takeaway, it had to be pizza. Now, you can get basically anything. McDonald's is extremely popular, for example, and they never had delivery sales before. Now even the tiniest taco place has a bunch of guys waiting around with their motorcycle helmets to pick up their paper bags of food for delivery. The pizza industry is losing its appeal and popularity amid rising competition. Given that the rampant cost of living is making Americans tighten their belts, especially when it comes to dining out, many iconic chains have also been reporting sluggish growth and weak sales numbers. The latest data from the Ipsos Consumer Tracker affirms this picture. Over a third of Americans say they've cut back on fast food, sit-downs, and delivery alike since the start of the year. Nearly half say they've been cooking dinner more at home over the same period, while 38% say the same about lunch. No wonder why multiple pizza chains have been on the decline this year amid store closures and even bankruptcy. For example, just a few weeks ago, 127 Pizza Hut stores across 5 U.S. states were shuttered as their franchisee filed for bankruptcy due to mounting debts. Papa John's has reported 3 straight quarters of same-store sales declines, including a 6% drop in the latest period that ended on October the 30th. That was its worst result since the second quarter of 2019, per Restaurant Business magazine. The company said customers aren't flocking to its restaurants quite like they used to. CFO Ravi Thanawala said during a recent earnings call that they expect this year's challenging sales trends to likely continue as we close out 2024 and enter 2025. We are acting with urgency, he stressed during the call. We are laser focused on strengthening our foundation in the near term. Similarly, Mod Pizza has faced its fair share of financial struggles in 2024. The chain shuttered dozens of underperforming locations across 10 states and Washington, D.C. during the first quarter of the year alone. In the summer, anonymous reports began to emerge that Mod was preparing a potential bankruptcy filing, and a spokesperson told Restaurant Business magazine that they were exploring all options to improve their finances. The things that all of these companies have in common is that they all cater to a cost-conscious public that values cheap and convenient meals. But as pinched budgets and shrinkflation have eroded Americans' purchasing power, their customers are aggressively cutting back. The underlying issue is that Americans have been financially eviscerated by inflation, and many struggling companies will ultimately pay the price. Our economic system has been wrecked, and now we will watch it collapse piece by piece. What are your thoughts on this? We look forward to reading your comments. Please subscribe, and here's to the next time. Thanks for watching.